Hello and welcome to Security on Screen, where we're at the World Police Summit. Well, one of the organisations that's responsible for security on a global basis is, of course, Interpol. And I'm delighted to be able to speak to one of 4 executive directors. Madan, hello and welcome to, Dubai and the World Police Summit. I was very interested to learn more about why Interpol are here and particularly what your role is. Would you mind just explaining who you are and what it is that you do?
Thank you, Peter. Let me first of all say my name is Madan Oberoi. I'm Executive Director for Technology and Innovation. And as far as being here, I would say first of all it's an event which is happening in physical space after a very long time. So we are very happy to be there here because one of our objectives is to network with people. Network not only with police officers, with law enforcement officers, but with other stakeholders like industry, like academia. So this kind of event provides us that opportunity to reach out, work with others. And so in that sense, I think it's a great opportunity for Interpol.
And as far as sort of innovation and technology, is it fair to say that you enjoy being able to see some of the commercial products that are here and some of the newer technologies where, for example, AI seems to be on everybody's lips right now, and we're seeing that technology deployed, in multiple products. We're seeing it from airport scanners through to surveillance systems. What's your position on the newer technologies that you're seeing?
So one, I would say it's a fact. It's a fact where we have to live with the very fast pace of changing technology. And not only live with it, but use it to our advantage. Because whether we like it or not like it, most of the criminals are using it very effectively. So we have to be equally matched and use the probably technology more effectively to catch them. And if we talk specifically on artificial intelligence, yes, it is one of the most fast-paced evolving technology in terms of its usage. And across the, I would say, spectrum, it is being used for so many things. In Interpol, also, we are using it effectively, already using it effectively for many purposes. And so it's one of those technologies which is all pervasive, I would say.
And what type of risks does Interpol look to mitigate? I mean, I can see here on the booth we're talking counter-terror, organised emerging crime, cybercrime. Do you put an equal weight to each of those areas, or are you particularly engaged in specific?
So our engagement is more in terms of defined by the needs of member countries. So we are an organization of 195 member countries. So what defines our priorities are the needs of membership. And that's where so I would not say whether AI is important, cyber is important, organized crime is important, terrorism is important, whatever is important for our membership, that is important for us.
So it's a two-way street then, the relationship that you enjoy with the member companies, which is, expansive at 195 countries, to help our audience understand how it works. There's a very equal structure by the sound of it. Clearly police services are here to serve and protect. It sounds like Interpol looks to engage on an equal level rather than top down.
It has to be basically, if you look at, and I would bring here the vision of Interpol. The vision statement says connecting police for safer world. So how do we connect? Connect is not hierarchical. Connect is normally a network. It is a horizontal relationship. And that is the perfect solution for the kind of problems we are facing in today's world. So in that context, we are regularly in touch with the member countries, the law enforcement agencies there. We try to understand their problem areas, what are the global trends which we are witnessing, how those criminal trends can be addressed by us, by member countries, how we can collaborate, how we can bring different countries together to fight certain trends. So it's I would say, a very collaborative kind of arrangement which we use.
It's good to understand, and perhaps sort of looking at environment, I presume that, you adapt very, very quickly to a changed environment. Of course, given the pandemic that we've seen over the last few years, did Interpol and its members have to adapt to a changed criminal landscape as a result?
Absolutely, and I would say agility and adaptability was in all spheres. For example, as soon as we went, or the world went into lockdowns, we immediately switched to remote working from home. So our networks were adapted for that. We immediately started doing trainings rather than in-person training. We launched a virtual academy to deliver training. So those kind of things were very, I would say, immediate and effective. So I would say it's quite adaptable system there.
And as we now see the world start to come out of lockdown, although in some parts of the world they are going back towards that, do you shift back to a pre-pandemic model, or does the criminal sort of fraternity, once it's moved on, and you're now faced with a new set of risks?
So coming to criminal exploitation of the pandemic, I would say that yes, what had happened was that many people shifted to work from home. The usage of digital devices went up. As a result, the attack surface went up. So those medium were more exploited. So those kind of things happened. New modus operandi came into existence where things like pandemic were used, things like tests were used, things like vaccines were used to cheat people. So those kind of frauds came into existence. So those are happening, they'll keep on happening. But coming to the agility of the organizations in which they were forced to shift to certain new ways of working, many of them will continue to stay because organizations are finding value in utility of those irrespective of pandemic. For example, if we shifted to virtual academy for our training, yes, it allowed us to, since we were not able to travel, to continue the trainings in terms of virtual media. So it provided us business continuity. But when we look at it, it also provided us scale and ability to grow faster and reach out to much wider audience. So in that sense, virtual academy will continue, and so it is not that we are coming out of pandemic, so we'll shut it down, but because it's offering us many more benefits.
It's good to hear that there is a longer term benefit, and I think a lot of organisations, in and out of policing, realise that there is a lot of merit in online communication. So looking a little bit deeper then, through the pandemic where the world stood still, did you see a downturn in problems like people trafficking, for example, on the basis that there was not an option to be travelling? Would it be fair?
I would not go into specifics of crime, but I would say that there were certain crimes where there was downtrend in the initial parts of pandemic. For example, the street crime, that went down in the initial part because of the lockdown when there was nobody on the street, so the street crime went down. But then I would say criminals were also quite agile and very quick to adapt. So those they were able to adapt equally well. So those downturns were not permanent, I would say.
That's very interesting. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And just to sort of close things up, here we are at the World Police Summit. It's been delivered by the Dubai Police. How have you found the engagement that you're getting? Because certainly from where I stand, there's some very high level police representatives here from all over the world. Over 200 speakers. We're seeing sort of 4,000 or 5,000 people a day coming through. Clearly the event feels like a success. From your position at Interpol, have you achieved the objectives that you wanted here?
Absolutely. I would say that this event in that sense has been very productive. It gave us the opportunity to network with so many of colleagues whom we had not met for a long time. So it helped us in reinitiating so many relationships. It also helped us in reaching out to new partners because the pandemic brought in new situations, new issues, and we are seeing new stakeholders relating to those issues also being here. So that was, and it has also helped us in running some of our standard events. Like for example, we are running a young global police leaders here, so in parallel to the World Police Summit. So those events are also happening, and we are gaining from the benefit in terms of access to better speakers, top of the line speakers who in any case are here, so it doesn't add to anything extra for them to come and work with us on those programs. So I would say, to sum up, I would say that yes, it has been very beneficial.
That's lovely. Madan, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us, explaining a little bit more about the work that you're doing here and of course on a global basis. And I'm sure I represent our audience when I say thank you for that work. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, for the opportunity. Thank you very much.